today I'm gonna replace this OEM tail piece with tail tidy. Here are the lights. So I think that's gonna make it look a little bit more streamlined. And so those lights will go into this section here. I think that will look better than these things sticking out like this. So, see how it goes. So the question is, where am I in the process? So at this point, I need to break these zip ties to loosen these cables. I already broke this zip tie here. And then what I'll do is I'll take this this plastic piece off to expose the cabling. And then what I'll do is I'll remove this tail and go from there. Alright, so as you can see, we've loosened up these wires here. So they're ready to be moved out of the way so that this plastic piece can come off next. Okay, so the plastic piece is off, and this is what you see. So I'll be pulling in the cable from the bottom, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we go. The tail has been disconnected. Now we're going to start the process of adding the lights right here on the side and also covering this section here that's sort of exposed at the moment, but we have a plate that we will use to cover that. And all I did was you have to carefully pull these back to pull out the connectors. There's one here, and then there's another one here, and another one here. So once you do that, they come off fairly easy. And then this is the hole that the cable was run through. And interestingly enough, this little section here, that's to wrap up the excess cable and then just keep it nice and tidy in there. So something to keep in mind. For the lights, the next step is we're going to remove the screw, this screw right here, and then we're going to remove these fasteners here because they will no longer be needed. There you go. All right, so the screws have been removed. I did notice that as soon as you remove the screws from here, you just have to be careful because this sort of comes down a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so now we'll take these little clips. We'll take these little clips off and install the lights. Now before installing the lights, we're going to review the components that come with the tail tidy kit. These are going to go directly to the lights. So we'll connect this end to the lights, and then this will go to the bike. These are to wrap these connectors with and waterproof them. And this washer and these two nuts are to secure the lights in place. And these two zip ties are to replace the zip ties that we broke or we cut earlier to be able to remove the plastic. All right, so here we go. All right, so here comes the first light. It's been added. You have to make sure that you carefully insert it, and it goes through all the layers of plastic. So I noticed that it was a little tough to get this thing through. Not too tough, just you have to be careful and gently push it in so that it goes through all the layers of plastic and it comes all the way out and it looks flushed against the body of the bike. So then next step is we'll add the washer. There's a washer that should be placed here, and then a lock nut that goes over the cables to secure this piece to the body of the bike. Okay, so both lights have been installed. As you can see, they're nice and flushed against the body of the bike. Now let's take a look at the other side. Have to make sure that that's nice and tight, but not too tight. You want to make sure you don't damage the frame or the bike. So here it is. Now we're going to proceed to connect the lights and then test them. Okay, so the lights have been connected. These have been heated to shrink and get that seal. So now let's go ahead and test the lights and see if it works. Okay. All right, both lights. Yeah, those things are bright. Ow. Yep. Now let's test left turn signal. Okay, that works. Right turn signal. Okay, that works. Let's move this cable out of the way. Okay, now let's test emergency lights. They work. And now let's do brake. Let's test the brake lights. Yeah. All right. Now let's move on to doing some cable management here, and then adding the license plate bracket and license plate light. Alright, so here we have the components. We're gonna use the plate mount next. These are all the nuts and bolts that came with it, and then we're going to then cover everything up with this cover here. Okay, to add the plates, license plate mounts, I'm gonna have to remove these right here, and then put the plate mount here, and then put these back on. So it should go there. All right, so foot pegs are off on both sides. So now we're gonna install the license plate bracket. Now we're putting everything together. Also, the plate has been moved downwards to this location. Alright, so we put everything together nice and tidy. I've used the zip ties that came with the kit to secure these connectors. I'm just going to trim this once I'm done. I'm going to put everything back, and we should be good to go. Alright, so this is all put back together now. The seat back, cowl. So you can see, back is nice and tidy now with the TST Industries lighting. Alright, well, I hope this is helpful. I'm not a mechanical guy or someone who fiddles with mechanics a lot, but the setup is fairly straightforward, so I hope this was helpful. And now to end this section, I'm going to do a cold start.